Look at this candle right here. Price just crawled sideways for like 20 bars straight, barely moving, just sitting there doing nothing. And then boom, it rips. And then it does it again a little further down the chart. And again, same exact pattern over and over. Quiet, quiet, quiet. Then a push. That's you've ever started at the chart wondering why price seems to rest before it moves. You're looking at something real. I'm gonna show you exactly what's causing it. So this is gold trading strategy using two indicators together, and honestly the setup itself is simple once you see it, but the way most people try to use it is completely backward. Okay, so what you're watching right now is just price action wrapped inside this envelope, like a channel that expands and contracts depending on how much gold is actually moving. When prices come, the channel gets tight and price just kinda hugs the middle. When price starts trending, the whole thing tilts and widens and price rides on the edge of it. You can already see the rhythm, right? Ranging, then a push up, then it rests again inside the channel, then another push. That resting part is the key, and we're gonna come back to it in a second. But first, what is this thing actually called? Because you're gonna want it on your own chart. This is Bollinger Bands. Yeah, I know, it sounds basic, almost too basic, but don't tune out yet, because it's not about the indicator being fancy, it's about how you're using it, and the settings matters here. This isn't the default setup. You'll get pulling it up for the first time, and I'll give you the exact numbers before we're done. But here's the thing. The bands alone can really tell you when to pull the trigger. They show you where price is resting and where the edge are, but they cannot tell you whether a breakout of the edge actually has really a strength behind it, or if it's just gonna fake out and snap right back. And that gap, that's exactly where trades go wrong for most people. So look at the second thing sitting underneath the price chart. This green and red wave moving above and below a middle line. When it's solid green and stretching up toward that plus 100 area, that's a strong bullish push. When it fades into this grayish color, hugging the middle, that's basically the market taking a breath, no real direction. And red, obviously, same idea but to the downside. This is measuring the actual push behind the move, which is exactly the piece that bands can give you on their own. This is the range oscillator by Zierman, and once you've got both of those on your chart together, you're basically got the full system. One telling you where price is coiling and the other telling you whether there's real muscle behind the next move. Step 1 is trend direction, and this is just about reading which way the bands are tilting. Nothing complicated. If the whole channel is sloping up and price is riding that upper half, hugging it, you're only looking for buys, period. Doesn't matter how good a sell might look for a minute. And same thing in reverse. Channel is sloping down, price riding the lower half. You're only in sell mode. You're not even considering a long until that changes. Step 2, and honestly this is the part everybody skips because it feels boring. It feels like you're missing the move. You're waiting for price to rest after a strong push. Price is gonna pull back into the middle of that band and just sits there for a while. Small candles back and forth, not really going anywhere, kinda coiling like it's catching its breath. And I get it. It's tempting to jump in the second you see the first big push happens. That's the exact part, but that's actually the mistake. Chasing the move instead of letting it reset first is how you end up buying right before the pullback smacks you. The resting phase is what actually sets up your entry, so you gotta let it happen instead of fighting it. Step 3 is the breakout. You're watching for price to actually break back out of that resting zone in the direction of the trend, not against it. An actual close pushing through, not just a wick that pokes outside the band for a second that comes right back in, because a wick like that is exactly that kind of thing that traps people. And step 4, momentum confirmation. This is where the oscillator earns its spot. You want that green wave actually backing the breakout, pushing up with it, not sitting flat or fading into the gray no man's land. A stop loss sets right at the band line, just below whatever candle triggered your breakout. clean, mechanical, no guessing. Target wise, you're generally looking at 2 or 3 times whatever you're risking. Now, checkboxes don't mean every trade's a winner, and I want to show you that honestly instead of just cherry picking the good ones. Here's another buy. Same for steps, trends up, rest, breakout, momentum backing it, target hits again, nice, and clean. But right after that, same exact checklist, trends up, price rests, breakout, oscillators, got some green behind it, and this one just doesn't work. Price snaps back down and the stop loss gets hit. And that's real. That's just how probability works. You can do everything right on paper and still take a loss, which is exactly why the 2 or 3 times risk target matters so much, because the winners are built to cover more than one of these. Watch this one right here. Price breaks down out of the resting zone, looks like a clean short, except the oscillators are still sitting in bullish territory underneath the whole time. No sell trade. That signal gets skipped and price rips right back up seconds later, which, yeah, that's exactly why the rule exists in the first place. If that oscillator's reading bullish, you do not take sell trades. Full stop. Doesn't matter what price chart's tempting you with. Then another clean buy setup. Trend, rest, breakout, oscillator backing it, target hits. No drama. That's the system doing what it's supposed to do when everything lines up. Now watch this candle right here. Huge. Way oversized compared to everything around it. Sticking away outside the band. Looks juicy, looks like the obvious entry, and it gets skipped because when a candle stretch out that far past the band, you're late. You're chasing a move that's already happened, and buying into a candle like that is how you end up holding the exact top. Here's one more that worth slowing down for. Trends up, price rests, breaks out, clean, oscillators got momentum behind it. Every single step checks out just like the winners did, and it still gets stopped out. I'm showing you this one on purpose because if a video only shows you the wins, it's lying to you a little. This system filters out a lot of bad trades, but it can't make every good looking trade turn into a winner. And you gotta be okay with that going in. Then right after, another buy plays out, clean starts to finish. Trend, rest, break, momentum, target hits. Winner in the books. A little further along, look at this. Price is basically flat, no real direction, and even though there's a dip that might tempt into a sell, but there's no clear momentum backing it either direction. So this one's a no trade. You just let it pass. And then another spot right after that. Same story, oscillators basically flat, no push. So even though price is sitting near the edge of the band, there's nothing here worth taking. No momentum, no trade. You sit on your hands. Back to the winners, another buy, trend up, rest, breakout, oscillator green and pushing, target hit, clean. And now flip it. Same exact logic, just mirror for the downside. Trends rolling over, band tilts down, price pushes lower, rests inside the band again, breaks down through it, and this time the oscillators actually backing it with red. Real bearish push, not just fading gray. A stop goes above the band line, over the breakout candle, targets the same 2 or 3 times risk, and target hit. Clean winning sell. Same setup, same steps, just flip. And real quick before you go, try this. Settings. You've got it locked in. Quick settings round down so you're not guessing. Bands are set to length of 55 using an EMA basis with the standard deviation at 1. Range oscillator by Zierman, minimum range length 200, range with multiplier 2.5, 2 heats levels. Load both of those up exactly like that.